Hey guys, so last week we walked among monsters with Guillermo Del Toro. So if you want to know what it was all about and what it was like, stick around. Hey people, so we're back with another episode of Future Reach. If you know what I just said, we were at the AGO last week with the exhibit of the famous director Guillermo Del Toro, and yeah, we walked among monsters. So first of all, welcome to Future Reach. If you're new here, subscribe.
Right away.
Oh yeah.
Right away. Just get right to it.
So you people, you're with me. So first thing out of what we're gonna talk about is the event itself. So how did you like it?
Well,
It was fantastic.
I loved
It was
it.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Like all the stuff you see, the macabre, dark.
All right, let me get
Artwork.
more specific. What did you like?
Oh, my favorite thing was as a child, there was a book called "Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark."
Okay.
Well, there was four pictures that he had that is obviously inspiration in a lot of his films that he had from that. I was inspired from the artist of that book. And looking at that just brought back traumatic childhood memories of looking through this book and being scared out of my mind. And that was hands down my favorite thing to look at.
Sounds like an amazing
It
book.
was traumatic imagery. You guys saw that. Right? It was really
Yeah.
traumatic, that imagery, right? I couldn't believe reading that stuff as a kid. So, yeah, I agree with
Yeah.
in terms of how messed up it was. I liked the paintings. I really enjoyed the paintings. He had this one. He featured a whole bunch of paintings. One was from a Canadian painter from Windsor who grew up in a factory, area. It was very industrial, and he literally showcased these paintings that what the factory life did to a person's body.
Mhm.
And he basically showed like this really dark, messed up red and black and
Very
bloody,
abstract.
and it was abstract, but it was still very human. These paintings.
Mhm.
It looked like decrepit, deformed, destroyed human bodies, which is what industry was doing to them. So he showcased a lot of paintings that I particularly enjoyed, but that one, that artist, I forgot his name, but I loved those paintings. It was one of a red skull, and it just spoke to me, man. It's just like really, it just.
I remember you looking at that picture.
I was staring at it for a good 10 minutes. It hit me right here, and I just couldn't stop staring. I used to work in a factory when I was in university,
Oh,
so I
yeah.
was just like,
I didn't know that.
so that was why it hit home for me so much,
Okay.
because I mean, his family put food on the table. Like, I was just going to get through university, but so I couldn't even imagine how much more meaningful it would have been for him and people who have actually had to go through that.
Mhm.
It was
What
fantastic.
about you? What was your favorite piece?
Well, Kareem, if you come to me, there's a specific movie I like. And it revolves around a guy in hell.
A
It's
red
like-
guy
yeah.
with a gun.
And it was this
Yeah.
beautiful gun, and it was called the Big Baby. And even the bullets, you see the shells, it has a bottle on
Baby
it.
bottle on
it.
And so the gun's about big enough to blow your hand off your head. So
Yeah, I would say it was more. That's the least it can do.
it's like holding a shotgun in one hand. It's a grenade launcher.
It's a grenade launcher. Yeah.
So in one hand, and it has a painting of a baby right in the handle. I love that, and I didn't understand why people were not stopping. They had Hellboy's trench coat there and his gun there, and I'm just like, why aren't people looking at this? This is amazing.
Yeah.
So that was my favorite part.
All right. So for those who didn't get it, he said it. It was Hellboy, and he's also one of my favorite characters from Guillermo Del Toro. So first of all, if you don't know who Guillermo Del Toro is, it might be a little late to say it, but we talked about him in another video, so check it out over here. My favorite piece was also from that movie, but it was not like what he talked about is Hellboy's gun. What I'm gonna talk about is his enemy, and I think it was Hellboy 2, the Angel of Death.
Angel
yes,
of Death,
yes.
Yeah.
Golden.
Not
like-
an enemy.
Well,
Yeah.
Kind of put him on a trial.
It's an
Brings him back.
antagonist.
Bring-
somewhat.
Brings him back. I think
Yeah.
it brings him back, doesn't it? Sorry, that was.
Yeah,
It looked cool.
anyways. You just spoiled the movie for a lot of
Yeah.
people, but
Came out in 2008. Came out in 2008. Like, seriously, I haven't watched it already.
So the Angel of Death is like this weird looking dude. I think it's a dude with like wings with eyes on it. It's like I took a picture of it. You will see
Oh,
it on
not
our
just
Facebook
one eye,
page.
plenty of eyes.
Yeah, I said eyes.
It stares at you.
Yeah.
You'll see it on our Facebook page. Like the picture I took looks like he's looking right at you too.
Mhm.
So that was my favorite piece of the exhibit right there. It was like, and it was one of the first things you saw too. So
Yeah.
let's move on. So I already said that you can see who Guillermo Del Toro is in other one of our video that I reference. I'll do it again. But for those who don't know who he is, can you guys do like a small introduction of who he actually is and what his work was?
Or is continues to
Or
be
is,
because
yeah.
he's still making great films after great films. In my mind, he's one of the best directors working today. That's he's
Yeah,
one of the
That was
yeah.
he's one of the best, most creative, most interesting. I don't want to be like too like internety, like oh he's a genius, he's the greatest, he's a great director. I've been watching him since high school. Started with Blade 2, and I've been and I just kind of was like oh who's this guy?
Didn't do Blade 1?
No,
No.
Stephen Norrington I think did Blade 1, a different director, but Guillermo del Toro did Blade 2, and he's been doing a lot of just great films ever since. He's known for doing macabre horror slash sci-fi. He's known for his mastery of that, but they always have deep intense meanings. Excuse me, and he's always got just a wonderful message
Except
behind his
Pacific Rim.
films.
Yeah.
Pardon me?
Except Pacific Rim.
Even then, in Pacific Rim, I can give you a meaning. All countries in the world put aside their conflicts to battle the kaiju.
Okay.
Yeah, there is a meaning.
I take it back.
Even then, right? Even then, there was and like another thing about Pacific Rim that I love. It's such a multi-ethnic cast.
Yeah.
That was another. You don't often see that in sci-fi. Not like that. I feel like the new Star Wars is doing it.
Yeah.
I think that's because of Pacific Rim. That's what I say. Anyways, he's a great director. He's one of the most
Yeah, he
innovative
is.
directors working today.
For me, it's more or less his bizarre costume designs. Like some of the stuff he creates is just pure genius because I can't imagine it. Pan's Labyrinth is like the best example of it, and it is like some of the bizarre shit that you don't even dream about. Because some across, he imagined it from scratch, right? It's like looking at musicians; they bring music to life. He brings these costumes and creatures like to life.
I wouldn't say from scratch.
Well,
Like, so at the beginning of the exposition, there was like exhibition. Sorry, had the French word come in my mind. Sorry. So he had a video explaining where his inspiration comes from, and it's from literally his house. What was the name of the house again?
Bleak House.
Bleak House.
Dickens
There we go.
novel. He named it after that.
So the house is filled with weird stuff.
very bizarre stuff that's specific to his taste.
Yeah, and it's set up in a way, like you said before, it's set up in a way to give him inspiration. So you would see stuff like
Lovecraft.
Yeah.
Edgar Allan Poe. Mary
Exactly.
Shelley.
Frankenstein.
Yeah,
is
that's
one
Mary
of
Shelley.
his-
That's Mary Shelley. Yeah.
Disney.
Disney.
Like the
yeah.
first paintings of like the Disney.
Sleeping Beauty was a
Yeah.
big inspiration for him.
Finch. David Lynch, The Elephant Man.
Yeah.
Freaks. The movie
Freaks,
Freaks
the
is-
film.
yeah.
Yeah. You see what his
And a
thought
lot of
process
comics.
is. Yes.
Oh,
tons of
yeah.
comics.
A lot of comic
Well,
books.
this is the man who made Hellboy, right?
Well, there was a point where we got into it, and it was just sectioned up with thousands of comics in
There's
the
a line, the walls.
It was
The walls just
walls.
covered.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
It was amazing to see that.
Mhm.
He even had his own special editions of Hellboy, right? He had those framed out too.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
he had. So basically, it was a wall with comics, and then he had a line with just Hellboys.
Yep.
It was fun.
He really loves Hellboy, and
Yeah.
Hellboy was his passion project to work on with Mike Mignola. I think he turned down one of the Harry Potters to do that because he really just wanted to do Hellboy, which is speaks volumes about his passion towards the character.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Dickens too, Charles Dickens. Lots of busts of Charles Dickens and statues of him.
Edgar Allan Poe too.
Yeah.
Yeah. In that room,
yeah,
the rain
Rain
room,
Room.
Yeah.
which is if you plan on going to see that exhibit, go into that rain room.
So cool.
Oh my god.
After you
what?
go see
How
the
on what?
entire exhibit, you can sit down in the rain room and you can chill. Like it's really nice
You
to
can just
relax.
write.
on.
Yeah, you can just write or just be at peace. It's really cool. It's
Yeah,
really nice.
I
Very
think
serene.
that everyone at least when we went there said we want one of those in our house.
Yeah.
Like that was like hands down one of the common rooms there.
Yeah. When I write scripts for us for the channel, I usually actually play Sounds of Rain. You know how I love trains?
Yeah.
I play Train in the Rain. So when I went into the rain room, I did this before we went to the exhibit. But when I went to that exhibit, I was like, I love this man. I was like, he's a man after my own heart.
So I was gonna go into the final thoughts, but you said rodeos right there.
That's mine.
So you two go.
Go ahead, Al.
Well, the rain room is a hell of a thing, but seeing all that art, the macabre art, and then the piano player. That's the one that we need to mention as well. Is there was a professional piano player playing all sorts of
creepy
music, and it just so fit. And that actually is like one of my favorite things as well, because I was just sitting there staring at my favorite piece of artwork, listening to the music, bringing back this traumatic childhood memory with that music. It just fit so damn well that you just can sit there for hours just listening to it and just being in this calm ease in this creepy art.
Yeah.
Mm. So usually my first thought isn't usually to be like, I want to steal this man's house, land, and everything he owns, because it just speaks volumes. Like honestly, if you go there, you'll want to go there again. It was an amazing event, and I love the way they set it and spaced it out. That's really well done. And one of the things is like, I wish I was a Flash so I can like steal a couple of these soldiers, just put it down, because the intense detail, you could stare at it for days, and every day you'll find something new. That's how it was. So everything was very well done in that sense.
Everything was very well done. Another thing that I have to mention, it was my second favorite thing, is where you get to write your own opening line of a horror movie or a horror book. Like there was a tablet in there where you could write, and then they would project it onto the wall.
I remember you doing that. Yeah.
So the exhibit was fun. It was
amazing.
It was amazing, and it's on until January the 7th, 2018. So
here in Toronto. So if you live in Toronto, and you haven't seen it yet.
Go see it. It's it's $20.
Get on it.
It's very much worth your money. So that was it. That was our review, kind of the AGO exhibit of Guillermo Del Toro. We're coming up with a video of when we went there, like a small music video montage of what we saw, the artwork that we saw, and what we think is worth you seeing. Anyways, so thank you for watching. As always, if you like it, comment, subscribe, share, whatever you're gonna do. See you next time.
Subscribe.
Thank you for watching. If you like what you saw, you can check out the next video here. If you're in a daring mood, you can select a random video here.
So we're back with another episode of Future Reach. If you know what I just said, we were at the AGO last week with the exhibit of the famous director Guillermo Del Toro, and we walked. Hey guys, so last week we walked among monsters with Guillermo Del Toro. So if you want to know what it was all about and what it was like, stick around. Hey people, so
Favorite thing was as a child there was a book called Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Okay.
Well, there was 4 pictures that he had that is obviously inspiration in a lot of his films that he had from that was inspired from the
monsters. So first of all, welcome to Future Reach. If you're new here, subscribe.
Right away.
Oh, yeah.
Right away. Just get right to it.
So you people, you're with me. So first thing out of what we're gonna talk about is the event itself. So how did you like it?
Well,
It was fantastic. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Like all the stuff you see, the macabre, dark.
All right, let me get
Artwork.
more specific. What did you like?
Oh, my favorite